Hi, my name is James Andrews. This is for my capstone. The mobile technology that I chose was cell phones and, more importantly, smartphones. I chose this mobile technology because I figured it was what my students had most readily available to them. I teach in a low-income school, so this was a way for everybody to bring technology into the classroom the easiest way. It was easier for us than for iPads or tablets or anything like that. I found it to be rather unique because our school policy was that of they were not allowed to have their cell phones out at all. So I had to talk to my principal. I got the okay. I teach with another lady, and so we talked about. We thought about how we were going to do it, and I told her I was doing this project for Ashland. I did all the readings and everything, and this is what we thought we could use right now in the classroom. It didn't require any grants, any funding, and like I said, most of the kids already had the cell phones on them, so we put them to our use. We used them in several different ways. We were able to ask the kids questions through like text messaging. We were also able to have them answer. They would text us back, and we were able to log their answers to see who was paying attention. We were also to see if they're understanding. We were also to send warm-up questions or thoughts of the day. We were also able to sit there and play with it as they are supposed to collect videos. They had to do get pictures. They used the internet on them, and we used the calendar, so that way they knew when certain quizzes were going to happen or tests or when the project was due, any of that stuff. And we would set the alarms on their computers to let them know they have 4 days left or 3 days left or it's due tomorrow. And it's that way they were able to stay organized. They were able to know exactly what was coming. Nothing was hidden from them. They were really excited about using their cell phones in the classroom. Now, will that wear off? I think so, but I still think it's an interesting way. We had kids that we would send a general question that would ponder that question or look it up at home. We have a lot of trouble getting kids to do work at home, whether it be homework, studying, anything. And this was a way for them. They enjoyed it. They asked each other questions. They would text each other. The only issue was we had to come up with rules that would let them use their cell phones in the classroom, but it didn't how should I say, hinder them from their learning. So we had to come up with several different rules and guidelines, and that's the hardest. That would be the part that's probably the most flexible throughout all this. It's going to have to change with the time. That if you see something bad happening in your classroom or something that they're not using it properly, you have to come up with rules and guidelines throughout the whole thing. Now, my unit changed from the way I used to teach it dramatically. Before it was, I would show them several videos. I would, have them look up information, look up their terms, all of that stuff. We had our class discussions. But this way it was more student-led. They had to look up their own videos. They had to present. They had to come up with several different things. So it was more, so when I asked questions, it was more direct. It was more unique to that particular student. I was able to differentiate my instruction. I was able to, how should I say, everything was very to the point. I didn't have to get super creative with how to change it because everything was based on their own learning and on their own timeline. So that way everything was to the point and it was very unique to them. Now, the most interesting concept that I thought that I enjoyed the most was just to watch them learn in a different way, because obviously we've never done it, and to be on the cusp of a technology and not understanding how to use it in the classroom, it was kind of neat to see and learn with the students. They're very fluent with their cell phones, so they're ready to go right now. It wasn't we had to teach them much. We had to teach them a couple of the apps, but other than that, they were ready to go right now. Now the thing that the thing about cell phones is in the classroom is it's very progressive. So there was a lot of ups and downs with it. There weren't too many because it was such a short unit. But we did have to change our rules. We did have to, set our expectations for them, so that way they can be successful in the classroom. Now, the unit went great. There was tons of learning. The kids said that they enjoyed it. The teacher and myself already talked about how we would do it more the following year, and how we would go about, what rules we would need, who we'd have to okay it with, and go from there. Because the cell phones are a computer at their desk, so we didn't have to go to the library. We didn't have to schedule time for a lab, any of that stuff. They didn't have to look up books. They could look them up right from their cell phone and use them. So overall, it was a great learning experience. It was something that I will definitely use in the future, and it's something that they already have, and it's just ready to go.